Wouldn't it be exciting to just like pack your most important things, burn the rest, tell your mom you're really sorry to go, and hop on the next flight directly to Tokyo? There you make new friends, get fluent in Japanese, explore the Japanese culture, become a successful YouTuber, fall in love, start a family, even build your own Japanese dream house. Well, I wouldn't know how that would feel. Even though through some sort of miracle I've somehow made it to Japan, I have none of these things. But I do know someone that does.
こんにちは、Dogan です。よろしくお願いします。
Dogan has been one of my favorite YouTubers for a long time. His channel is all about Japan and learning Japanese, which you know he can do because Dogan has taught himself pretty much native level Japanese. And then of course he makes those incredibly funny and well thought out comedic sketches about everyday life in Japan.
アイスコーヒーお願いします。No problem. Anything else? 僕は今日本語で話しましたよね。
And the only reason I'm able to speak Japanese with a relatively natural accent is thanks to his fantastic Patreon course on Japanese pitch accents. If you're interested, I'll put a link in the description below. And honestly, because there is nothing I do crave more than finding out how this man did the pretty much impossible, I feel, I decided to pack my bags and go confront him about how he ended up living in the most spectacular house I have ever seen.
Oh no!
Also, I really wanted to know what he thinks about my Japanese.
最近頑張ったんだけど、
Now, instead of flying, I thought it would be way more relaxed to take the bullet train from Tokyo Station all the way down here to Kyushu, the most southern part of Japan. Instead, however, I almost missed the train.
With 1 minute to spare. Good start. Let's find our seat.
Driving over 1,000 kilometers through all of Japan was a magical experience. Imagine passing through buzzing cities, lush forests, white rice fields, and high mountains. After over 7 hours bullet train, I'm now in Kita, Kyushu. It's a city that connects Japan's main island Honshu to the southern island of Kyushu through a giant bridge. And here I was forced to trade in this like super comfy and fast Shinkansen for this very slow and dangerously shaky local one that would hopefully carry me the remaining miles to where Dogan was rumored to live. After almost 11 hours of traveling, I finally arrived at the station.
It's really nice. It's like a summer day almost here.
This is Beppu, a small town in Oita Prefecture that lies on this line here, connecting all these little dots that you see here. All of these are volcanoes. Most of these volcanoes are dormant, but some of them are still very much active. Which sounds like super terrifying, I still think it is, but it also means that Beppu produces more hot springs than any other place in Japan. Which luckily included my hotel and Dogan's new crazy dream house. But we'll get to that in just a second. Soaking in this hot mineral-rich water from deep within the earth not only got rid of my fatigue, but also of some of my nervousness for the big interview the next day. And I basically fell asleep the moment I hit the sack.
Oh no, room card. Pretty damn nervous. I don't think I've ever really properly interviewed someone person to person. Hope I don't blast this interview.
But at this point, it was too late now to chicken out, because Dogan was actually nice enough to come and pick me up in person.
Good to see you. I have so many questions to ask you.
Okay. I'm more than happy to become the Ero Nantoka Sensei.
Oh.
So here I finally was. I had made it halfway across Japan into the sacred halls of Nihongo Jozu, where there was now no more way around it. I had to make the best out of this interview and learn what I had come to learn here for.
So first of all, I'd like to know, what was your route to Japan? Why did you want to come to Japan in the first place?
I've been interested in Japan for basically as long as I can remember. I really got interested kind of after I got in martial arts. And I had a cousin that was really into like J-pop, and then I just kind of got more and more interested in Japanese culture specifically.
Okay.
I was genuinely surprised to learn how similar Dogan and my motivations were for coming to Japan. Anime, J-pop, martial arts, only that just the thought of trying to do a flip from standing really scares the living hell out of me. But for many people, even more frightening than the risk of face planting on the floor is the seemingly unsurmountable challenge of integrating yourself into a completely new culture.
Is it hard to assimilate into Japan?
I'm actually kind of an introvert. Like when I was in college, I never went to any parties. I didn't drink for like the first 25 years of my life.
Probably healthy.
Japan fit me well because most of the friends that I made weren't as assertive. Basically all my free time, I would just study Japanese by myself and try and write short essays in Japanese as well. I would go to Mossburger almost every day. There was a girl that was working there and she saw that I was writing in Japanese, and so one day she just talked to me. She became the one Japanese friend that I had. We would get a meal once a week. That was enough for me.
This man not only spent over 10 years of his life perfecting his Japanese, but he even writes comedy skits in Japanese for a bilingual audience.
そうですね、僕は結構上手ですね。
Sensei's powers really do seem to be limitless. Of course, I needed him to teach me exactly how he did that.
You are honestly the foreigner that I know with the most beautiful Japanese and most fluent Japanese. What was your entire journey where you were able to teach other people about pitch accent and the nuances of the Japanese language?
I worked at a local Japanese junior high. I spent my free time trying to learn how to do creative writing in Japanese. A lot of experimenting, trial and error. For a very long time, I was the only person that I knew that knew anything about pitch accent in Japanese. It took me about 6 months to get to a point where I felt like I could have a daily conversation in Japanese. What ended up happening is somewhere along the way, YouTube started becoming a viable option. And I was like, I bet if I kind of acted it out, it would perform way better. I bet I could carve out my own niche if I did this.
And you
And that's what I tried to do. Yeah.
Clearly did.
Creative writing in Japanese? That's some next level stuff. Here I'm kind of happy that I can order my burger with extra fries on the side. But of course that didn't stop me from stepping up to the challenge and put my greasy and crude anime Japanese up against Dogan's elegant, artful speaking skills.
ちょっと今あったかどうかって確かにその考えより大事かもしれないよね。そうだね。
教えられるアドバイスとしてはそのぐらいかな。
なら、
はい。
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
That was embarrassing, but Senpai recognized me, so I guess I'm happy with that. To cover up, I quickly changed the topic to something way too personal and asked Dogan Sensei about his love life.
You have a wife?
Yeah, I have a wife, I have kids. There are a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this, and you may be as well, and there's a lot of Japanese people that are guilty of this, of the romantic idea of having a foreign boyfriend or a Japanese girlfriend. One of the best things that you can do is just become aware of the fact that you're probably fantasizing. In order to have a good relationship with someone from a different culture, you need to have at least one language that you can both speak almost fluently, and realize again that you're probably kind of expecting things to be different than reality. You have to realize that you're in a relationship with an actual person. Maybe they want to be the bread maker in the house or whatever, and so it's communication. That's
Absolutely. I've heard you are building a house.
Yes, it's just about finished, so maybe rather than talking about it, I can actually go show you right now.
I'm very down for that. Let's do that.
Let's go see it.
Nice.
As we were driving back towards the house with a stunning view of the city covered in the dense steam of hundreds of hot springs and surrounded by beautiful, lush nature, my nervousness from earlier had now made complete way for a burning curiosity what that dream house of an American could look like who had started a completely new life in Japan.
Oh no! Holy hell! What?
It was kind of like seeing the love child of a traditional Japanese temple, smelling of cedar woods and pine and oozing its calm and tranquil ambient, and a modern designer home with beautiful architecture, cutting-edge technology, and equipment. To say that Dogan's house is a piece of art is really somewhat of an understatement. I honestly wish I could just move into the cupboard or something, German Harry Potter style. Every single room of the house had its own unique character, making you truly feel at home. And it had this really hard to explain calming effect on me. And this is very much on purpose, as Dogan explained to me. Every single detail in this place had been thought through thoroughly and built with a lot of care and clear purpose. The rough texture and calming smell of the charred walls combined with the new bright woods. The little blackboard hidden inside the wall to write down stuff while cooking. The little room connecting Dogan's awesome looking new studio to the main building, separating work from living. Or the fact that whenever you look through a window, you can see a tree. It was impossible to not absolutely fall in love with this place. I had the time of my life exploring and learning about all the tiny hidden gadgets hidden throughout the house. But my favorite thing about the entire house was how well it embodied Dogan's relationship to Japan and the life that he has built here. Finding real happiness by starting a new life completely from scratch, far, far away from home in an adventurous and beautiful country like Japan. And now it's your turn. Thanks for watching.